Ever wondered what makes a ballerina appear so graceful, lithe, and ethereal while she dances? In addition to incredible strength, flexibility, and coordination, she has a secret. Male ballet dancers, when they perform, use a special kind of shoe called the ballet slipper. And this shoe is flexible in the sole as well as flexible at the toes. That's so there can be a lot of articulation and suppleness of the foot while dancing. A ballerina uses a different type of shoe. Before she becomes a ballerina, she uses this type of shoe in dance class to learn how to use her foot and to have a lot of suppleness in the foot. But once that happens, she then goes through a training period of learning to use something called a point shoe, also known as toe shoe. The point shoe is actually quite stiff. This is a brand new point shoe and does not bend very well in the sole of the foot, as well as where the very tops of her toes will be on the floor. It's very hard. You can knock on it, and on the very outer part that the front of the toes go. It's very hard. This shoe comes with nothing to attach the shoe onto the foot and hold it on. Each dancer must sew elastic, and the elastic comes very long and then is chosen by the dancer the amount that is correct for her ankle, as well as ribbons. I'm going to pass these shoes around so you can feel how hard and stiff they are. Just make sure not to pull on this, because if you pull on this really tight, this actually tightens this outer border here of the shoe, and if it's too tight for my foot, I will get a blister on the back of my heel. So I'm going to pass these around so you can feel. And be careful, this still has the needle in here, so you don't want to stick yourself with it, and you can feel just how hard that is. Ballerinas generally put holes in their tights, the bottoms of the sole of the foot, so they can have access to their toes. One of the things that happens because the box is so hard, which gives support in dancing, there's a lot of chafing on the toes, and there will be blisters that will happen out of that. One way to minimize the blisters and the effect of the blisters is to tape the toes where the person gets the blisters the most. I tend to get them on my big toe and on my fourth toe. This doesn't completely eliminate blisters, because if there's a lot of dancing in the toe shoes, there will be sweat, and then with the rubbing, the tape will get moved and there will still form a blister. The problem with the blister is not the blister itself, but it's in having to dance on a blister, which then the sweat pours into the blister as well as small particles of dirt, and then the blister becomes infected. Then the next day, dancing on an infected blister is quite painful. So here, this pair of shoes, the ribbons have been completely sewn, the ribbon and the elastic is on. These shoes have been worn for a long time, maybe 20 hours of wear. They have probably, and I'll also pass this around, they have probably, and you can see it's a little more flexible, but still pretty hard compared to the new shoe. They probably have about 3 hours of wear left. If I had a really difficult dance piece that I had to do that had a lot of turns, I probably would only get 1 hour of wear out of these shoes. The tights always go back over the toes for performance, unless it's some kind of a contemporary ballet piece. Most dancers wear something that protects the toes to, again, stop with the bruising now, not just the chafing, but the bones of the feet become bruised, which can be quite painful. So usually dancers have something, and this doesn't eliminate the bruising, but it helps with it. And of many performances, what can happen is with the bruising is that the feet also begin to swell. And so if I have a performance in the morning and one in the afternoon, one in the evening, by the last performance, not only are the toes very bruised, but the feet are swollen. The ribbons have to be put on in just this specific way. The ribbons make an unsightly back little wing here, which needs to not be there for performances, so this must be tucked in. If this were a performance, because of when I would dance, the ribbons would get loose and start to hang out again. I would have to sew these ribbons into the other ribbons to make sure that did not happen. And now I have support to stand on my toes and do whatever movements I need to do. Point shoe dancing started around the 1700s, but it was actually didn't have a lot of support and they weren't as stiff as they are now up until about the 1900s, when one of my favorite dancers, whose name is Anna Pavlova, started to put stiff leather in the back of her, in the sole of the foot, to give her that ability to do more interesting movements and harder technical movements. She was an amazing actress in her dancing with her point shoes. The next time you see a ballerina dancing, you'll know her secret. Madame Toastmaster.